Sausalito is one of the more expensive places to live in the Bay Area. That is, if you live on land. There's a long history here of people living in boats, anchoring out. These floating homes are free from rent or taxes. The owners can pull anchor and leave at any time. Ale Ekstrom has been doing it longer than anyone else, over 50 years. We're taking a ride out to visit him on his old Navy vessel.
Hey, Ale, you in there, man? How's it going, man? Not too bad. You know, these guys are doing a story for the radio about anchor outs. Do you have any interest in doing an interview?
I don't get that many people that take the trouble to come all the way over and out to the boat.
So how long have you lived out in this boat?
I've been aboard this boat now for 14 years.
Okay, were you on a different boat before that?
Oh, yes, yeah. Yeah, then I had an old Navy motor launch. Then I had that one 17 years.
Ekstrom's boat has most of the amenities of a regular house. Electricity, fresh water. It's rustic, cozy, like some old cabin tucked away in the woods. Well, besides the constant rocking of the water, that is. Ekstrom was actually born 2 miles above sea level in Colorado. Even as a boy, he wanted to be a sailor. He enlisted in the Navy as a teenager. When we got out of the service, he moved to Sausalito as a folk musician and started living on the water. Ekstrom's lifestyle hasn't changed much for 50 years, but Sausalito has. The harbor's filled up with yachts, and mansions now cover the mountainsides.
When I first got here, 1916, none of all these yachts and all this stuff, none of that was here. There were some ruins, old boats and ships and things along the mudflats out here.
Out on his boat in the middle of all the development, Ekstrom has to battle the elements: rain, wind, insects, and leaks. The woman he moved into this boat with left 7 years ago. But even though Ekstrom's alone, he loves his life on the water.
Oh, I'm having as much fun now as I did when I first got here, but good Lord, how things have changed. Constant change. Oh, yeah. Oh, looking back on it, there's too much to remember all at once. Wow.
This is what Sausalito used to look like. It's the 1970s, and the houseboat community is at its height. Hundreds live out in the water, rent-free and carefree. Back then, Ekstrom was as notable a figure on the water as he is today.
When I first anchored out here with that little whaleboat, they told me, you can't do it. You can't stay aboard the boat. You can't anchor it out here. Oh, I told them, you guys are mistaken. I said, this is a navigable vessel, and these are navigable waters, and I'm taking care of my boat. And don't you get in between me and my taking care of my boat, because you've got a lot more to lose than I have.
But as Sausalito changed from an undeveloped fishing town to an upscale tourist destination, the pressure mounted to clear out the floating community. Over the decades, most of the floaters and drifters have been incorporated into the mainstream. Some settled down into houseboats by the shore. These are permanent homes with fancy architecture that draws busloads of tourists. The owners pay taxes like everybody else. Others formed a ragtag co-op community near the docks. It still has a bit of that old, off-the-grid feeling, more like a ramshackle slum in a canal city than a part of the Bay Area. But it isn't as free-flowing as the 60s. Residents now pay several $100s a month in slip fees to the harbor. Ekstrom is one of the last from the old generation that still anchors out for free. Are you gonna pass the boat on? I mean, you think about the future of the boat?
Oh, well, my daughter's curious about what to do with the boat, and I told her, no, don't get involved in it because it represents a liability. It really does. There's several $1,000s. Sooner or later, it'll be impossible to keep this old boat afloat any longer. And I don't know that, no way of knowing, of course. Yeah, what'll become of the boat after I am no longer able to keep it afloat.
Well, you wouldn't trade this house for any other house in the world, huh?
Oh no, there's no place else right now that I would prefer to be than right here. Oh yeah, yeah. I know how much it would take to get into another boat, and I haven't got the energy or the time. You know that I've outlived my wildest expectations already.
Gonna get in dry land.
No. Yeah, I wonder what people without boats can possibly do with all that extra time. You know, because if you have a boat, it takes all the time and attention you can possibly get together. Now here it is. Belay that. Yeah, it's an Old Navy.